Today on the Daily Dose, the Rough Riders of the Spanish-American War. After the Spanish sunk the USS Maine during the Cuban War of Independence and conjointly the Spanish-American War of 1898, President William McKinley put out an urgent call for an elite force of volunteers to chase the Spanish out of the Caribbean. Because of the hot and humid conditions native to Cuba, an odd assortment of patriotic volunteers was selected from the hot climate states of Arizona, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Texas, consisting of cowboys, gold prospectors, hunters, gamblers, Native Americans, and Ivy Leaguers from the East Coast. Army Dr. Leonard Wood led what would become known as the Rough Riders, while Assistant Secretary of the Navy Theodore Roosevelt served as second in command. After forming up at the now famous Menger Hotel Bar in San Antonio, Texas, on May 29, 1898, 1,060 Rough Riders and 1,259 horses and mules set out by train for Tampa, Florida, where they would soon board the steamship Yucatan for the short ride to Cuba. Due to intense political pressures from Washington to speed up the engagement, only 8 of the 12 companies made the trip, leaving most of their horses and mules behind. They arrived in Cuba virtually horseless, forcing cavalrymen to march long distance through hot, humid, and dense jungle conditions. By the time the expedition was over, however, nearly a fourth of the Rough Riders would be lost to malaria and yellow fever, creating a double vacuum of lost fighting strength and deteriorating morale. Of the 3 major engagements fought by the Rough Riders, the Battle of San Juan Hill was the crowning achievement of the war. Before the charge, Roosevelt taunted some reluctant non-Rough Rider soldiers not to leave him alone in a charge up the hill, drawing his sidearm and aiming it at the group, insisting that if they failed to charge with his Rough Riders, he would shoot them dead on the spot. In response, the Rough Riders chanted in jest, "Oh, he always does, he always does," prompting the hesitant soldiers to fall in line for the assault up the hill. Astride his favorite horse named Texas, Roosevelt then led the charge up San Juan Hill, while his regiment of Rough Riders followed up without hesitation. Despite heavy casualties inflicted by high-ground Spanish troops, San Juan Heights would be taken within the hour. 2 weeks later, the 3-month-long Spanish-American War would be over. And there you have it, Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders, today on the Daily Dose.